Hello students, let us begin with the history lesson. If you have books, you can open it or you can download the PDF files for the subjects. It is rightly said, people without the knowledge of their past history, origin and culture is like a tree without roots. Secondly, history is who we are and why we are the way we are. With this thought, let us begin our first lesson. What is history? Students, do you like to hear stories? Yes, we do. Everyone likes to hear stories. Kids, adults, grown-ups, old person, everyone of any age likes to hear stories. That's why we entertain ourselves with various films, short stories, novels, books, because there are stories everywhere and we love to hear them. Now, if we see the word history, it can be divided as his story. His story, that means story of man or mankind. It is about human. So here we are going to study our own story. Story about our ancestors, their lifestyle, everything. Last year we studied about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, his story, which took place about 400 years ago from now. Let us first see the division of time. For our convenience, we divided it into three parts: past tense, present, and future. Past. The time that has already gone is past. Every passing minute becomes past. Present. The time we are in now is present. And third, future. The time which is yet to come is future. For example, look at the picture given. The day when you were born is past. Today you are studying. This lesson is the present, and after few years, wherever or whatever you will be is your future. The same thing is given in the picture. In a cradle, a baby is there. 10 years ago, the day of birth, that has become past. Today we are 10 years old. That means you children, you might be 10 years old, 11 years old, that is your present. And what will be after 20 years is your future. One more example. Few months ago, you were coming to school to get education. You were in standard 4th. Today, you are in standard 5th. And after few months, you will be in standard 6th. So students, what is history? The science that tries to understand past events is called history. So, what is history? The science that tries to understand past events is called history. You all know the special characteristic of sciences is that their facts and evidence or proofs can be tested in experiment, which can be performed anywhere, anytime, and n number of times also. For example, if I say salt dissolves in water, this you can try at home anytime and as many times you want. So, method of using different tests to find out whether something said or evidence is true or not is called scientific method. But we saw the definition of history says it's the science that tries to understand past event. How can we say history as science? It is because it is impossible to recreate the events of the history again. The history of Shivaji Maharaj, which we learnt last year, it took place actually about 400 years ago. We can't make it happen again. We can perform the act of Shivaji Maharaj. You can become Shivaji Maharaj. We can perform it on stage. We can perform it in front of camera. But actual incident can't be repeated. Therefore, the method of presenting history is different from other sciences. There are many events, things that happened since your birth. Now, do you remember those events or the things? You don't remember the first word you uttered. But, student, you can still tell me that. You can narrate me the incident of your childhood. How is it possible then? Because your parents, grandparents, and others narrated it to you. But when you hear some story of your childhood or past events, there is some differences in the story from the sources you heard. Your parents may say something else which is different from what your grandparents or uncle or aunt said. Because when different people tell same event, there is a difference in perspective, narration, or how they saw the event or how they remembered. So you may wonder which one is the right one. Sometimes we have the proof of the events. So to get the correctness, we need to see the photographs or the video shooting of that past event. So in this way, method of presenting history is different from the other sciences. Even history uses scientific methods like looking for and collecting evidence, examining it, and putting them together. When need help, it is taken from other sciences. That we will see later on, that how the help is taken from other sciences. That means history is not written on the basis of imagination or only stories. Proofs are needed. Without proofs, without evidence, history can't be written.